Hello, everybody. We're just waiting for some people to join on board and we will get started. As a matter of fact, let's start the big timer. Yes, this is the big timer. Okay. And we will get started. It's a course that has a lot in it. So I want to get started this right away, and yeah, people will join along the way if they have not joined already. Okay, this is indeed welcome to Winning Strategies for Buyers Agents and Winning the Buyer Presentations, kind of two mashed into one, or as we like to say, how to elevate your process and maximize your value to lock in your compensation. And we're going to get to that word a little bit later on in the presentation. But thank you for taking the time out of your day to work on your business rather than working in your business. I hope to make it worth your while. My goal is really to provide real value and share actionable insights that you can apply immediately to your business. Just a couple quick things. One of the reasons that I do this is that I invest, just as you are doing right now, in my own personal growth. What I mean by that is I've sat in the webinars, I've reviewed the NAR settlement, I've talked with agents, I've participated in nationwide groups that have been discussing this to bring you the best ideas. Because I was an agent at one point. I wanted to understand what was going on and so figure out a way that I could help you get along, because I saw a lot of puzzlement from people going, I don't know, what am I supposed to do now? So, oops, sorry about that. So I'm going to bring you the best strategies that I have found and that I see other people actually doing and working and making it work. So this hopefully will help you adapt in today's market, and I hope you're all okay with that. Okay, so first thing is the only thing you will need today is this, your phone. Okay, just check yourself in there. There's a reason that we do that, because this class in particular has a lot of handouts. Um, so there are a lot of things that I'm going to share with you if you complete the course. And it's stuff that you can really use it, and you'll see as we go along. It's very, very handy stuff. It's even customizable, so you can take my name off, put your name on it. Okay. So again, scan that QR code, or if you can't, if you're on your phone right now, then just take a screenshot of it and send it to yourself so that you can do it later on, so you can take advantage of that. I don't spam you to death. I let you know other classes that we're having, which is basically one, maybe two a month. And if there's anything huge going on that I think agents should be aware of. But other than that, I'm not one of these people that abuses your trust and giving me your email address and your information. But there's, as I said, there's some templates. We have 91 tasks that buyers agents do, and a whole bunch more with this. So having said that, all you have to do is when you do register, you'll see this pop up, put in your information, click down here. Oh, let me get my little laser pointer. There we go. Click down here. I wonder if that comes in other colors. Click down here and check me in for today's event. Select your class. When you do, select this class, Winning Strategies. Click on here and you're done. It'll take you maybe 15 seconds. Okay. We will be speaking today about value and mission statement. So I would be remiss in not telling you ours. And I'm doing this in partnership with Alpha Marketing Academy, which is part of Alpha Abstract agency. So I want to talk a little bit about the difference between partnership and a vendor. Okay, so a partner provides products and services, of course, just like anybody else does, particularly in my business. But it's more relationship or relational, say that fast, than transactional. What I mean is a partner helps you solve problems, and becomes an integral part of your business. A partner ideally helps you achieve your goals. And our goal in our partnership is to help strengthen you and strengthen your business and ways that you effectively grow your clientele and your business. We're not trying to replace, any of your other lenders in there. They may be all great, and that's terrific, but why not add to them if you're finding something that can actually work pretty good for you? Um, Okay. And again, that's we're not trying to replace people. We're giving you another source is what we're doing, and hopefully helping you demand more from the sources that you have. Okay. So if you're looking for an additional partnership, please reach out and we can schedule a conversation. Also, going to reach you my mission statement. Alpha Marketing Academy with myself. We're helping. By the way, my name is Kevin Burgeau. We're helping real estate agents grow their brand on social media using the most relevant content, tips, and tools available, leading to more warm leads and sales conversions, often as a result of consistent market visibility. That's a mouthful. Okay, let's get to today's class. Um, Okay, here we go. So today, here's what we're going to cover. We're going to cover mastering your value, winning the buyer presentation, the secrets of gaining trust, what that is, because what we think, and it goes hand in hand with this, what buyers really want from you, what we think they want from you sometimes is not really what they do want. And we have to take a look at their perception, which I've got a ton of stuff on that. And crafting your value statement and process. This is a step-by-step presentation. We try and help you do that every step of the way. And also, if you need to reach out afterwards, we're happy to help you there. And the whole goal is to move clients from confusing because they've been told, oh, you don't need a realtor, to getting them confident in your ability, which will secure your compensation. Okay, so right now we have actually four kinds of agents. I didn't put the last one down here because it came after we made the course. But first is confused, lacks a plan, doesn't know what's going on, or has some semblance of what's going on, but doesn't really know what to do about it. Second one is about the same. They're just going to bitch, complain, and moan about what's going on. They want to resist the change. And here's what I've found that's kept me in this career for 30 plus years is you can't resist change. It's going to come. The better you adapt to it, the more successful, whatever your definition of success, the more successful you'll be. And there's the agents that are confident, did their research, said, okay, here's my plan for handling it, scripted it, wrote it down, practiced it, and are ready to move forward. Okay. So again, once you figure out your value proposition and kind of take it into heart, when you're confident, because that helps you be confident in your path. When you're confident in your path, others see it and they're more willing to put their faith in you. Okay, so as the Greek Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, stated almost 2,000 years ago, it's not what happens to you, but it's how you react that makes the difference. So it's not the market, it's how you react to it that'll make a difference in whether you're going to move forward with success or you're going to be left behind or confused or suffer the consequences of that. So do you see when something like this, do you see a ton of aggravation or do you look for opportunity? And it's pretty wise advice for today's market. And that was given 2,000 years ago because the Greeks knew what they were doing. So what's happening around the NAR settlement changes are outside your control, and it's going to continue to change. It's not over with. So starting today, your focus should really be on what you can control. And let's look at this change as opportunity. We have the power to create meaningful opportunities for growth, embracing these changes and using them to differentiate yourself from other people in the field, those that are resisting the change or don't understand it. Do you agree with that? Okay. So again, turn the current situation, you have to look at this. Is this a lemon? Am I being handed a lemon or is this lemonade? Can I turn this into lemonade? So I think this is not a bad thing that's happened to this profession. I think it's one of the better things that's happened because it's made us get on our game. For a professional agent, this is an opportunity. This whole thing formalizes the relationship between you and your buyers, which has been missing for a long time. For many years, people said, "Oh, you don't have to worry about my compensation. The seller takes care of that." Well, you can't do that anymore. So this makes you put it into words, makes you explain to people so they have clarity. And when they have clarity, they have confidence in you. Okay. So every single one of you showed up today because you've chosen to adapt and learn how to perform in the current market. That's what you're willing to do. You're willing to perform that. I like to perform as well. That's why I host these workshops. I'm looking for other performers too, so who want to expand and grow as well. So I'm glad you showed up today. Okay, so the fundamental activities of successful real estate agents hasn't changed. This whole business, particularly this side of it, is about conversations. Conversations which lead to appointments, which leads to agreements. And this is kind of my mantra to kind of put that in a nutshell is, and I want you to remember this, write it down or memorize it. Conversations lead to contracts. That's what I look at this whole thing as. It's a reason to have conversations with your sphere of influence, with your past clientele base. And you don't know what that conversation is going to lead to. You're having a conversation with someone in your sphere of influence, and they're like, "Well, yeah, that's great. Thanks. I appreciate the clarity." And at the end of the conversation, you say, "By the way, is any of your neighbors thinking of moving? Oh, yeah, I know Bill and Betty just getting divorced. So there may be something going on there." Boom. So conversations, you have to figure out how to have conversations, and they'll lead to contracts. Um, okay. So having said that, what's changed is we need to step up our game. And I'm really curious to see how many of you see the changes due to the NAR settlement. Overall, is a good thing. You can, put something in the chat, or uh, if you're watching this on the broadcast on my YouTube channel, you can, write me later on saying what you think about it. Again, I think it's one of the better things to happen to us as professional agents. Okay, so what this means is we're moving to a hiring basis for buyer representation. In the long run, that's going to enhance loyalty and commitment in your client relationships. Before, like I said before the NAR settlement, it was when people asked you about the fee, and you went, "Oh, don't worry about it. Fee's taken care of. The seller pays it. You don't have to worry about it." Which you can't do anymore. And actually, we shouldn't have been doing that. We should have been explaining it. This makes us have to explain it. You need to formalize it. You need to let them know what offerings there are, which we're going to go through today, and exactly what they're getting into. You need to give them clarity. Okay, so which means you need to master your value. So to secure your compensation, let's talk about mastering your value. Does everybody, by the way, understand the difference between commission and compensation? Because it's a very important distinction. If I had my druthers in this field, your field, my field, I would eliminate the word commission. We should never really use it. I'll tell you why. It's all about perception, which this whole thing is about. So in perception, I will tell you that when someone says to me, "Okay, I'm going to pay someone a commission." Commission to me is I want this thing, this car, this widget, whatever it is, and I've got to pay that person in order to get that thing. Paying that person doesn't add value to that thing. That thing is still worth whatever it's worth. But in order to get it, I've got to pay this person a commission or I've got to pay this fee. I don't like that. That to me is an added expense. However, compensation is different. Compensation is I need something performed. I need some help. I need someone to take me on a journey. I need someone to show me how to do something. And of course, that doesn't come for free. Sure, I want to compensate somebody so that I get that service to take me from point A to point B or A to Z, whatever you need. So that's the difference. It's all in perception between commission and compensation. Commission is something you have to do that you kind of resent. Compensation is something that you're going to pay somebody in order to get something, get you from A to Z, get you something that you really need, take you on that journey. Okay. Do consumers question the value of real estate? Well, let's take a look at that. By the way, I've researched a number of different surveys and chose between the ones that I thought were really spoke to this what we're doing here and spoke to the NAR settlement and spoke to how consumers feel about us. So this is a survey of 1,000 consumers. It's not a huge survey, but it's a thousand's a pretty good size, right? And they were asked this question: why do you feel the services of a real estate agent are not necessary when buying a home? 1,000 people. And by the way, this came out post NAR. So they were all these people that they surveyed on this, they made sure they were aware of that settlement. Okay, so because I can find homes for myself online and tour them in an open house, 45%, that's almost half, said that. That's why they think your services aren't necessary. And you know what? In some cases, that's right. I mean, everything's online now. So, to find a house is not that hard. To find something online. They can put their own house online. So when you can do that, everything else is gravy. So that's not wrong. But keep in mind, this is their perception. So it's not what we think is reality. It's not, we think that you still need a realtor. It's what they think that matters. Because it seems simpler to me to just work with the agent representing the seller. We're going to get into this later on, but look at this, 38%. That's a big amount. 38% think that they can work with the seller's agent, the listing agent, and still make out okay. They won't need you. That's a horrible perception. Not because you and I won't get paid or you won't get paid. It's because they're going to run it. They don't understand that the listing agent in no way, shape, and form represent them. So they can get hurt by that. And then 16% said, because I don't think what real estate agents do is hard, and I am confident I can do it myself. It's almost, you want them to do that and, get those unfortunate results sometimes just to say, yeah, I'm a little bit more important than you thought. But honestly, it shows a lack of education. That's why. And I don't mean education as in, K through 12 or secondary education. I mean, it just shows that this is what their perception is. They're listening to the walking teleprompter heads who read from screens and just, regurgitate that information to them. So we have to educate them. And that's what this says. Here's some more. Which of these statements do you believe is most true? A real estate agent who works for buyers can often get a better deal from the seller and their agent. That's great. Here's not the not so great part. It's only 21%. That means 79% believe the opposite. Again, not great. 25% said a real estate agent can find homes for sale that may not be found online. I don't think that's as true as it once was. It's still true, but not quite as true as it was 15, 20 years ago. But again, it's their perception. Here's the good one. A real estate agent can help buyers make smarter decisions looking at the pros and cons of buying a home, translating the inspection report and disclosures, and interpreting the fine print in the paperwork. 55%. So that's over half. So that's a glimmer of hope here, that they understand that's what you can do. And by the way, this tells you what they're looking for. What are they looking for? They're looking for your expertise, your knowledge, and your guidance. That's what they need. That's where the need is. But the media isn't very helpful, right? They don't tell them that. They only tell them, oh, come August, you won't need a realtor. You should buy without one. Okay, so what does that mean? That means the buyer presentation is now a job interview. So you wouldn't go to a job interview unprepared, would you? Again, you're not going to walk in there for a job interview, sit down and go, what is it you do? No, you're going to go and do some research ahead of time, figure out what these people do, what they need, and be prepared. So that's the way you're going to prepare for the buyer presentation, right? Just as thoroughly as you would think about it as a job interview. Meanwhile, listing agents have been doing this for 30 years, probably more than that. But now it's your turn to do it as well. So then you have to think, well, what does it take to get hired? Have you ever tried to hire somebody? What are some of the baseline qualities or attributes that you would look for, or people are going to be looking for when they want to hire an agent? Again, experience? Sure. Results? Yes. Trust? Yeah, they would love to trust you. This means how we present ourselves, um, and our value is more critical than ever. The scrutiny will be higher when you're asking clients to sign a contract and commit to you and having to take money out of their pocket or potentially take money out of the pocket. So, do you agree with that? This becomes very, very critical. And over the past few months, I've spoken with a number of agents about how they're doing their buyer presentations. I love to hear how you're doing yours, but I'll tell you what I found was a little bit disappointing. Um, Hang on, someone is looking for the link. Um, Let me bear with me for a second. Let me see if I can do that for them real quick. Okay. Well, I'll continue while I'm doing that. So, most of the people I found are not really doing a great job. Um, you know, they they're not prepared enough. They haven't really thought out what they want their uh, value proposition to be, or they have an idea of their value proposition, but they haven't articulated it well. They haven't figured out figured out how to take their client, their potential client, on that journey. In a moment, I'm going to share a couple things that I've seen missing from um, most of those presentations. Okay, and meanwhile, another buyer survey. Ready? Here's one. 25% of the buyers thought that their agent spent 10 or fewer hours on their home purchase transaction. 46% of buyers thought that their agent spent fewer than 15 hours on their home purchase transaction. That's crazy. But again, it's their perception. This is what you have to change. So, what do buyers need from agents? The results indicate that buyers need more education, communication, clarity on what it is that you do, because they don't really know. And one of the things that we're going to give away today, for finishing the course, is something that will show them every step of the way the things that you do. And by the way, if they're unsure of your value, good luck getting them to sign that contract. It's not that easy. Um, and again, the whole purpose of showing you this is just to show that those who articulate and are able to showcase their value and what they do are the ones who are going to win these presentations. Okay, so let's see how you're going to answer the following questions. Hang on one second. I'm going to see if I can help this person jump on board. Oh, there it is. Da, 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 da. There we go. Okay. All right. So how are you going to answer these following questions? What is your fee? That's what they're going to want to know. Keep in mind, these people are going to be may run into the time where they have to pay you. Why should I hire you? What makes you different than everyone else? What if the seller doesn't offer compensation? How's that going to affect me? Why should I not just work with the listing agents? Okay, we're going to answer all these in just a few moments, but you should be prepared to hear this. I just want to work with the listing agent. Remember that? 38% said that because it seems simpler to me to work with the agent representing the seller. So is that a good idea for buyers? No, again, it's a horrible idea because they don't understand that the seller agent doesn't represent them. No, the listing agent doesn't represent them at all. Their job is to get the most out of the buyer. It's not to educate the buyer. That's not it. It's not to protect the buyer. No, their job is working for the seller. You know this, but you have to find the way to articulate that and find a way to show that. Again, content and conversations. Okay, and listen, all things being equal, the person best able to demonstrate value and explain this new rule will win. This is an opportunity. Again, if you're doing social media, this is the stuff your social media should say. Here's your issue, here's the solution. And do that in 2 sentences or 15 seconds if you can. And so it gives you a lot of opportunities to do that, by the way, because there's a lot of stuff in there. Okay, the trust is critical, but it'll engender trust. And I will tell you that leading this stuff with education is better than self-promotion. It's not that self-promotion is bad, self-promotion is great, but doing it with education is much better. Educate them and they will come around. They will appreciate that. It shows your professionalism. And again, professionalism and openness, clarity, all those things are critical to gaining trust. You with me on that? Okay. Let's get to the buyer consultation and agreement. I'm assuming everyone here does buyer consultations, and if you didn't before August, you're sure doing it now. Okay. And you can do them live, you can do them through Zoom. I'd love to hear how you do the majority of yours. Again, you can leave a comment, or if you're looking at this in the YouTube, um, let me know there. So how often do buyers sign? This is the other thing I'm really interested in finding out. How often do buyers sign after you present this? So do they sign right away? Does it take a little time? They have to get back to you later in the day. Just curious to see what that consists of, to unpack that. So I study a lot of sales training. And along with that is scripting. Listen, scripting, there's some people that say, well, I want to do it naturally. And I got to tell you, it's the old adage, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Lots of practice. Practice entails scripting. We've been doing this for a while. And if not, if you're new to this, you can find people that have been doing it for a while who will tell you everything that buyers and sellers are going to say. It's not that there's nothing new in the universe, but it's not hard for us to figure out. So if we know the questions, all we have to do is figure out how to answer them in advance. The worst place to do that is once they've asked it to you. If you haven't figured out the answer to that yet, you're going to be, you're not going to look in such a manner that's going to gain their confidence. So um, I'm going to share some of these scripts with you today. So let's start with an opening statement, right? You don't have to create the need if it's there already. Okay, you just have to expose it. So, and let me know what you think about this. Again, it's just an example. of this. So here we go. Opening statement. So you're talking to a client, you can say, hey, can you tell me what your experience is regarding what it takes to purchase a home in this marketplace? Which, if they say, well, I purchased one 7 years ago, that's not this marketplace. And you have to let them know that in a kind and gentle manner. Uh, what do you understand about the steps involved to make sure you get the right house that you really want at the right price and terms that are agreeable to you and that you're looking for? With all the changes happening in real estate, it's important to understand how everything works, and including how professional agents like me actually get compensated. Again, not commission. Um, would it help if I walked you through all these services that we provide to someone in your situation, whether it's a house that you find online or if it's a house we find for you? Make sure that you have all the information required to make an informed decision, to meet your home buying goals. And and after that, you can follow up with, okay, the next step is to arrange a consultation to understand your home buying goals. There's no pressure to work with me after the consultation, but I'm confident you will find um, the information I'm going to give you and the guidance extremely valuable. What does your schedule look like in the next couple of days? So those are kind of the opening statement, when you're beginning the conversation, and then kind of the hook and the finish, the call to action, as we like to say. Okay, so now in having that conversation, again, I want to get to all the things that, because what we're doing is we're giving them information. There's the need, we expose the need, we point out the need. They need to feel confident in what you do. And they're like, again, with those questions, well, what are you going to do for me? Well, just so happens we have a list of 91 things that buyer's agents specifically do when they represent you as a home. And this is customizable. And don't worry, we'll send you this if you finish out the course. DM me and I'll make sure you get this. It's customizable. So instead of seeing my mug on here, you can see yours and your information. Instead of cross country, you can put your company in there and all your information. So, but this highlights the key areas that some people do that are valuable to clients. And again, if you want a copy of this yourself, or if you finish the course, just let me know. Okay. And if that wasn't enough, but wait, there's more. Okay. This is actually from NAR, and this was prior to the settlement, I think. So this one is 179 ways you can get this on NAR, or, again, DM me. I'm happy to send this to you, and I'll give you the word to DM me later on. Um, is 179 ways agents who are realtors are worth every penny of their conversation. And then they said, well, that's for everything. Now, this side, 105 more ways they actually looked at for more for buyers agents. So that's the second edition. So again, at the end of this course, I'm going to give you the word to DM me, and we will get everything to you. By the way, if you want to get a hold of me, here's all my contact information. This is the way you can reach us. Here's all my socials through a card with Link. Link is not paying me for this. Again, it's just for 20 bucks. This was the easiest way to get this done. And it's really great. For 20 bucks, they send you everything. You can, when they look on that QR code, you're able to get Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel. I can even send people this link and they can start the application, which is awesome. I'm not on X. I don't think I'll ever be. I don't like the format. And TikTok, I'm still out. I probably will have to join soon. So why are people reluctant to sign an agreement? Okay. Not really serious or motivated yet. Well, that could very well be. I mean, sometimes that happens. They're not really serious. They're not motivated. It's not their time yet. They're unsure what the agreement means. is more likely the case. They don't want to commit to something that they're not aware of. You and I live in this every day. We have to keep it green that other people don't. Our clients don't. They don't do real estate every day. They don't understand the contracts. They don't, they're leery of something that they're not, that doesn't have a lot of clarity. So they need context to understand and feel confident for them to sign this. So you must explain the reason for asking them to sign this type of agreement. And I'm sure that everybody here already uses a broker agency agreement, a buyer broker agency agreement. There's a number of them. They vary state to state. By the way, the rules vary state to state. Um, these agreements have been in place for some time now. But again, um, take a look at yours, understand it thoroughly, figure out how you're going to explain it. And by the way, does every buyer respond to the same value propositions? No, because every buyer's not the same. They want different things. Your value proposition will depend upon who you are serving. So, who's your client that day or that hour? You should have several different buyer propositions. Or presentations actually. Again, they're going to have the same core, but they're going to vary a little bit. So here's a few examples of who you might be looking to serve. There are many more, but here's just a few that I'm going to go through. First-time buyers, right? So for first-time buyers, maybe you offer exclusive access to educational info, financial planning, budgeting resources, um, that help first-time buyers navigate the complexities of purchasing a home. So again a value statement. I offer exclusive access to educational information, financial planning, and budgeting resources to help first-time buyers like you navigate the complexities of purchasing a home. That's it. Now, you do this for a living. You can come up with something better. This is me. It's been 20 some odd years since I've been a realtor, so I haven't had to do that in a while. But those are some of the ones that I came up with. This one. So next, you maybe have investors. Investors, a whole different ball of wax there. So for investors, perhaps you might say, um, I specialize in identifying high return investment properties and providing comprehensive market analysis to help make informed decisions. So I can tell you what's going to happen in a specific neighborhood. Is it stable? It's on its way up, or is it declining? What you can expect to get rentals over the course of time. Again, different proposition, different client. So military and veterans. Here's another sample value statement. I'm well versed in the VA loan process, which is really important to veterans, and the benefits in helping military families secure favorable financing options and explaining the process to hesitant agents and sellers. So the listing agents, as you well know, and sometimes the sellers here, oh no, I don't want to do VA, which is ridiculous because VA, and they don't understand this. VA is one of the easiest things to get through. VA is again a very 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 easy loan in terms of underwriting, and the appraisal part of it is really not as difficult as it was. So it's all fear. Again, another one, relocation clients, sample value statement. I provide comprehensive relocation services, including neighborhood tours, information on local amenities. By the way, the number one search on YouTube for real estate is about a neighborhood. Just give you, and so just to make you aware of that. That's what people want to know. But local amenities, moving logistics, temporary housing options, and settling in services. So, you're going to have all this information for you, but you have to let them know. So, craft a value statement around that. All right. So, we're seeing agents in some areas using two kinds of agreements: primary buyer agreement and a secondary buyer agreement. Let's look at the first one. Okay. Primary buyer agreement is the buyer consultation in person or Zoom. It's an exclusive buyer broker agreement. And you have your client onboarding process and services from there. So this is the one that everybody's looking for. It says that, you know, it says that you're going to you're going to be exclusively their agent for X amount of time. Um, and you'll pay them X amount of dollars, what your fee is. Again, that's what you really want, but sometimes it's not always feasible, and we'll get to the secondary one. So, what you want in this is, and what you want to convey in the conversation, um, is just this. We call these transition statements. So transparency. This agreement is very transparent. It also outlines my responsibilities and compensation structure, which we can review together if you have any questions. There's open-ended, right? Would you be interested in taking a few minutes to go through this agreement so you can see how it's going to benefit you? Notice everything is positive there. Positive framing is very important. So with everything you've reviewed, are you feeling confident about moving forward with the agreement and getting started with your home search? Okay. So again, everything is positive. It's moving forward, but it's not pushing them into something. You have to be willing to explain every last nuance of this. And you're going to get reluctance. What if they push back? What are you going to do? Well, I understand you're hesitant about signing the buyer agency agreement. Can I share with you why this important step is so important for us to take together? Why, it kind of, without taking the step, we can't move further. And focus on the benefits, not what, I mean, again, you want to tell them what your job is, what you have to do, what you expect from them, what they should expect from you. But look at it in a positive light. This is a good statement that I like. This agreement ensures that I'm fully dedicated to finding your perfect home, acting solely in your best interest. Those two words, solely in yours, very important. For example, if we see a property with multiple offers, I can use my negotiation skills to advocate for the best price and terms on your behalf. If you use a listing agent, they're going to do the opposite. That's their job. Without this agreement, I can't represent you in that manner. So for all those people say, well, I'm not going to pay, I'm not going to, sign any contract till I met you and go out to look at a house. Okay, go meet them and have coffee, but you can't show them a house without this contract in place. And don't be scared to discuss compensation. We haven't talked about this yet, I know. And you may have a better way than I do to discuss this, but so I just came up with a few things. I'd love the opportunity to represent you for any home that you can find. If you choose a FSBO, for sale by owner, or a home where the seller offers no buyer compensation, then we're going to negotiate differently than if the listing already contains buyer compensation built in. Many times the seller will offer buyer's compensation. Matter of fact, most of the time it is in there. My fee is X, and that may be covered in the seller's offer. However, if they offer less than my fee of X, then we would negotiate differently. We're going to go harder on the home inspection. We're maybe going to offer a little bit less. So you have to see. And by the way, let me know how you discuss compensation. Do you think buyers are reluctant to compensate agents for their services? Yes, all the time. Um, so, and there are some people that have run into not. But here, let's look at another graph. Okay, if you were buying a home today and your budget was 500,000, how much would you be willing to pay for the services of a real estate agent to guide you through the process? That was the question on here. And this wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So, a $500,000 house, 3% is $15,000. Well, only 5% were willing to pay that. That's okay. I mean, in this day and age, most of us are getting 2.5%, right? That was 37%. I'm sorry, that was 15%. So now you're up to 20%. And another 37% were willing to pay us 10,000 on that. We did it in dollar, not percentages. So if you look at this, it's over 50% are willing to pay us at least 2%, if not more. So there's hope in that. Um, Again, you can look at this. I look at this as ridiculous, but some people aren't. They're looking at a $200,000 house and they think to buy a $200,000 house, paying you $5,000 should be enough. You should be happy with that. And I get that to a degree, and they're not wrong. Okay. So what if they say, I'm not ready to sign an agreement? What do? You don't sit there and go, "Beep, beep, beep, beep," don't don't sputter, don't get angry. The whole thing is be an educator to them. Give them what they need. So acknowledge and offer options. I understand completely why you want to get a feel for the market before committing to a full service agreement. I get that. It's a big step. Okay, the good news is I can still help you. Don't let them go somewhere else. Tell them I can still help you at this stage. We do offer options like short-term buyer agreements or single home buyer agreements. So that way, if you see a house, um, I can still help you with that. So and go through that with them. Yeah, we mentioned this earlier. This is your secondary buyer agreement, right? So this is how you answer that. Short-term agreement. Why don't we put together a short-term or single property agreement, right? I want to make sure that you have the proper representation so that you're covered, you're protected in the event that we go out and you find something that you're interested in, okay? Something you find you during this weekend while you're in town. I'm confident once you experience the value that I can provide you and the guidance I bring you, you'll want to be onboarded as a full service client. But, make no mistake, I get it. You just want a short term, happy to help you with that. Okay. And explain the short term single agreement benefits, right? For example, a short term agreement would allow us to focus on your search for, let's say, the next 15, 30 days. Start with 30, see if they object. That way, you can get a head start with my expertise, get used to what I bring to the table, take advantage of my guidance, and ask me a lot of questions before you sign a full fledged commitment. And that being said, there's nothing wrong with showing them what happens if they don't, and it's not fear mongering. This stuff really happens. Keep in mind, venturing out on your own may seem appealing at first, but navigating the negotiations on a house that has multiple offers without representation will be really, really tricky. You're not going to know what's common, what people do. With this short-term agreement, you'll still have access to my negotiation skills and market knowledge if we see a property together that you want to put an offer in. Okay. Gauge interest, and these are transition statements. Would you be interested in learning more about how a short-term agreement could benefit your initial home search? And again, go through that. And this is just some of the transition statements you can use. Offer to show matching properties. In the meantime, I can still show you some properties that seem like a good fit based on our initial conversation. What features are the most important to you? Let's start listing them in a home. It's great. You get them talking. You get them used to investing their information in you. Um, and this may be new to some of you, so I hope you find this dialogue hopeful. For those of you who are grizzled veterans, use your own dialogue, but just look at the way we're using it. Remember, the key is to be patient, informative, and highlight the benefits of having you represent them. And sometimes highlight the things that can go wrong because they don't understand that. They don't understand that, representing themselves or having the listing agent represent them can lead to, they're looking at five to $10,000 that they may have to pay out. They're not looking at, a $20,000 septic system, $50,000 septic system that may not have been disclosed properly, or maybe on its last legs, or a heating system that's $10,000, sewer line that's cracked, all that stuff. You and I know all the stuff that can go wrong. They don't. So you can highlight some of that for them. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. And all that is scripting. If you don't script, and it can be your own script, and practice it, then that's a plan to fail to me. So I highly encourage you to grab this book, Exactly What to Say for Real Estate Agents. It's by Phil Jones. Does a great job. It's specific to your career, your field of endeavor. Um, the worst time is trying, like I said before, to try and figure out what to say is when someone asks a question that you're unprepared for. Be scripted. Uh, get this book. It's not that expensive. You will thank me later. Okay. Also, pro tip, utilize ChatGPT or any AI that can help you with this. We teach a course on that. I'm going to go a little bit into depth, but not too far in time of interest of time. So creating a value. So again, everything with Chat GPT, if you've used it, you understand it's all about the prompts. It wants to know who you are. So that's persona. Context, use the case scenario. Goal, what do you want them to do? And format, what is the output, which is tone. I want to have you say in a friendly tone. Um, so here, I'm a real estate agent. Create a value proposition for first time buyers, which involves crafting a clear, compelling statement that highlights unique benefits and solutions that I offer to meet their specific needs, goals, and concerns. Can you give me 3 pain points and 3 corresponding value propositions that I can offer to overcome these issues? Please write it in a bullet format in the style of Phil M. Jones, author of Exactly What to Say. So you can even tell ChatGPT who to voice it as. I mean, I think it's, once, if you've not used ChatGPT, the more you use it, the more it gets familiar with your voice. But if you have a voice of someone else, you could do it that way. Um, let's look at a little bit more. So here's the output from that. Okay, problem one, overwhelmed by the complexity of the home buying process. Pain point. The first time buyers often feel lost and overwhelmed by paperwork, legal jargon, and the sheer number of steps involved in buying a home. Keep that information in mind because, again, that's their need that you have to fill. Value proposition. What if I told you that buying your first home, doesn't have to feel like climbing Mount Everest? Imagine having someone by your side who's climbed that mountain hundreds of times. I'll be your guide, your Sherpa, making each step clear and simple, so you'll feel confident and in control from start to finish. Um, Another problem: fear of overpaying, making a poor investment decision. Pain point. First time buyers worry about paying too much, choosing a home that might not appreciate value, leaving them stuck with a bad investment that they're not going to reap the benefits of so they can buy their move up home. Okay, value proposition. Imagine knowing that you're getting not just a home, but a smart investment for your future. With my inside knowledge of the marketplace, my experience and my negotiation skills, you'll walk away with a home that's not just perfect for you today, but that's a sound financial move for tomorrow and your future. And again, more, pain point. Many first time buyers are unsure about how much they can afford and what mortgage options are available and whether they can even qualify for a loan and what the process is. You'd be amazed, by the way, at how many borrowers, first time borrowers, think that you have to put 20% down. It's in this day and age, it's still unbelievable. I run into that all the time. So the value proposition, let's take the guesswork out of what you can afford. I'll connect you with my trusted lender who will walk you through your financing options, help you secure the best possible deal, and together we'll ensure that you're financially comfortable and fully prepared to make your first home purchase, and give you that with peace of mind. So those are things you can get with ChatGPT, and it goes more and more, like you can give it different voicings. You know, in this one, we asked ChatGPT to combine them, the best elements of all those three, and rework them into a concise single paragraph for the ABC real estate team. At ABC Real Estate, we simplify the home buying journey with first-time buyers, ensuring that you feel confident and in control every step of the way. With our expert guidance, we'll help you secure the perfect home at the right price while connecting you with a trusted lender to understand your home financing options. We're not just finding you a house, we're helping you make a smart, secure investment for your future. With the ABC Real Estate team, you'll experience a smooth, stress-free path to home ownership, knowing you've made the best decision for you and your family. I'm a wordsmith and I can't write it that good. Okay, benefits of the value proposition. Again, it builds trust. These are the reasons to use to put together a proposition if we haven't told you enough already. But again, it builds trust quickly. It demonstrates your professionalism and expertise right from the start. It saves time. Your value statement declares, this is what I am, this is what I do for you, allowing your prospects to quickly determine if you're the right fit. It enhances your connection. It cements them to you. It makes you a memorable at networking events. Like if you know your value proposition and you can summarize that in one sentence or a catchphrase, that's awesome. You can look up Mike McCann, the real estate man. He started using that 35, 40 years ago, and everybody knows it now in the Philadelphia and New Jersey area. It increases confidence. Having a rehearsed value statement can boost your confidence, making you more persuasive and engaging, and it differentiates you. Most people don't prepare, believe it or not. In this day and age, most agents don't really prepare for these conversations. Think of how smooth you will come off and how engaging you'll come off because you know who you are, because you've practiced this, you've written it down. Okay. Three main things a buyer wants to know. What's the process? We saw that when we saw that it was 55% of people wanted to know what the process was. Why should I hire you? How do I pay for it? So what are my options? Okay. We already covered the first two. We're going to explain the compensation and how we kind of talk about it a little bit. And, we'll give you a little guidance. You may get your own. So first of all, I would say keep it simple. Here's what I get compensated. I get paid X percentage. There are three ways that I get that X percentage. So one, sellers are willing to pay me that X. Easy enough. They're not willing, you might have to pay me directly. So understand in advance, this is what it could be. Not likely, but it could be. A combination of the sellers willing to pay the majority, you might have to pay some money or split it. There's different variations, but that's basically it. The industry, and you can go through this one. So you can look at this, and a good way to explain it is healthcare industry. So I'm going to use an insurance example. You, the agent, are the doctor. You have a need, you go to the doctor, or you just need a checkup, you go to the doctor. Well, there's an amount that the insurance covers. So again, right? Everybody's used to this. Does the insurance cover all of it? Maybe. That's the seller. Okay. It may be none. It may be that you owe nothing. It may be they covered 100%, or maybe there's a deductible that you have to meet. Okay. So, sorry, I think we missed something there. Or they may cover nothing. It may be a service that is not covered at all. And that's the way people understand that, who go to the doctor, pay their fees. So there's two more options. Okay. Number one, you can increase the purchase price to include the agent fee. You're buying a $300,000 home. Maybe, at 2.5%, that's what, 9,000, doing that, or you're getting 3%. So it's 9,000. Sorry. So you can increase the loan price as long as the appraisal will bear it to 309,000. Okay. Or you can even add the agent fee to the loan amount. And you can't really add it, but you can kind of, take out a little bit larger loan amount to do that. So let's talk about leveraging your lender since that kind of pulls me into that part of the conversation. I just want to make sure we're on time. Oh, we're running behind. So leveraging your lender. So you can create confidence with your buyers and winning offers by leveraging your lender. Again, I know you may have an existing lender, so these are questions that they should have already spoken to you about. Again, let's look at this. So here's a commission gap strategy. You can go over this. So $300,000. So normally, that if they're putting 10% down, would be a loan amount of 270. Here's the interest rate, APR, 30-year fixed. Here's their payment, right? 2128. Here's their cash to close, 35,316. So let's say we finance that into a loan amount because the seller's not willing to pay it. Okay, still $300,000, $279,000. So they're putting, I think it comes to like 7% down rather than 10% down. Same interest rate. Again, but now you're going to have slightly higher PMI. Your payment, and you're taking out a little bit larger loan, so your payment's going to change to 2213. Quick math tells me that's what, like $85 difference, $80 difference. Your cash to close is relatively the same. You can finance it in the price, which is a better way to go, if you can get that. So your loan amount is 278, but now you're still putting 10% down, so your PMI drops off. There's your APR. You're still 30-year fixed. Here's your payment. It's a little bit less than this. So the difference is $60, $65. So you're saving 30 or 20, $25 a month. Your cash to close is, again, relatively the same. And here's something you can do if it appraises low. And again, if you DM me, I'll send you this. But your lender should be doing that for you. So there's a way to, literally get that financed if they don't have it. Okay. It's tougher to do when somebody's putting 3% down, yes, unless you can raise that house price, but that kind of takes the lender financing in. So people feel confident when there's a process, right? So again, your job is to let them know what the process is, what that roadmap is. So here's the benefits provided by a real estate agent during the home buying process. Here's the survey, and here's what it showed. Helped the buyer understand the process. And this survey was a little bit different because we did it over age groups. So you can see if you serve a different age group or a particular age group, you can see how they responded to all these questions. Again, the majority of them helped understand the process was 53%, followed very closely by pointing out unnoticed features and faults with the house. It's only 1% different, right? And provided a better list of service providers for them to get work done on the property or help them move. It's 46%. So you can see all these things. And again, this helps you craft what you do. Because I don't even think, we do this in the course of everyday living. We don't understand how valuable it is. All right. So this is something good. This is 99% of agents undersell their value unintentionally. So this is really for sellers. So again, if you DM me at the end, I will tell you the secret word, and you can DM me that word, and I will send you this as well. Here's what's really valuable for you, which also will come. The home buyer roadmap. This, because people want to know the process. Show them the path. Here's every step of the way, that all the things that you do, and here's what they're going to do along with you. When they know the path, they're a lot more comfortable. When you're the person showing them the path, you're like a beacon. You're the shining light. You're the lighthouse in the middle of the raging storm, close to the shore. Okay. All right. And if that's not enough, but wait, there's more. Again, DM me and I will send this to you. This is a home buyer, 40 plus pages. It's not quite done. It'll be done, I think, mid-January. But it's a home buyer guide it's a Canva template, so you can put your face on there. It's 40 plus pages. It contains stuff like buyer agency overview, key buyer agent responsibilities, understanding the buyer agent compensation, dual agency, its implications, financing, closing costs, offer process, and it goes through a lot more, moving the whole 9 yards, how to pack. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. It's really valuable. And again, it'll have your face, your information on there. Okay. So creating confidence is a process. Don't be upset if it doesn't happen in the first hour on Zoom. It's not the way it works. Sometimes you can, but it's collaboration, it's communication, it's confidence. So, they want to see collaboration, that you have a team around you. So it's not just you, that you have a lender, a mover, a home inspector, all that kind of stuff. So the real thing is, are you ready for the shift? Do you have a well-crafted value statement yet? Defined and documented process that everybody goes through, and simple answers to the new rules. Don't make it complicated. Make it easy. The agents who have these things are the agents who are going to do well and increase their business. Okay, I hope today has been helpful. We're almost done. I hope that we were able to shed some light and help guide you on your way to success in this post NAR, although it's not really post NAR yet. So let me know what your next step is, what you found the most valuable, and what is the step that you're going to do. By the way, if you've taken either the database marketing or my Google business profile class, which is a great class, everybody should take that one. You'll see that I'm going to ask for a review. So should you, from all your clients, and make it easy for them. In that review, see if you got some knowledge from it. That's great. I would really appreciate it. It helps me do more of these classes. But also in that review, if there's something that you want to know, that you want to learn about a subject, I am happy to be able to show that to you. Okay, so again, you can put that in review, take a picture of this, scan it, let me know how you felt about this. For agents who have been doing this for 5 or 10 years, you can go to the Home Buying University with Kevin Burjou, or Home Buying U with Kevin Burjou. We like to make things rhyme. And we have, I think, 7 classes on there now. This is a great course to take, the database marketing for real estate agents. It's specific for real estate agents. It'll tell you how to turn your sphere of influence and your past client database into a gold mine that you're sitting on, and you may not even know it. So it shows you how to do that. And because most agents, one of the biggest things I find is they struggle in keeping in touch with their past clientele base. And you can make a living. If you've been doing this 10, 15 years, you can make a living just off your past clientele base. Okay, if you want more help, listen, one of the reasons we do this is because we'd like to partner with people with like mindset. We like people who want to grow and learn. So again, partnership is more than just great rates and terms and programs. It's really, my goal is to help you grow your brand the way that you want to grow it. So schedule a conversation, DM me that. Oh, and the word. Let's see. What are we going to make the word? We're going to make the word 2 words: winning presentation. So just DM me winning presentation. You'll get all that stuff that we talked about. I hope you got a lot out of it. I hope you found this as valuable. Thank you so much for coming. If you know of an office or a team that could use information like this, please don't hesitate to let me know, and maybe you can reach out to them and hook us up. That would be great. Everyone else, have a great day.